Okay, we are back today and we are kind of excited to talk about home inspections. So
a fun buyer beware process. So a lot of good stuff. Important for sure. So yeah, let's chat about it.
Okay, so when you are buying a home, you typically have an inspection period. Here in Arizona, it is commonly 10 days after your contract or your offer is accepted. So during those 10 days, Tim, why don't you tell us about the types of home inspections that you usually have clients do?
Absolutely, we can dig into that. And if we can pause for a second, I would love to hear a fun inspection story that you might have for just kind of a random, crazy, weird story about an inspection that you did.
Okay, well, I guess one of the craziest houses that I have sold in my career was a basement home here in Gilbert. And it was used as a pot house. They used to grow marijuana in the basement. So they had the entire basement was their grow room, and it was a bank foreclosure back in the day. And my clients, it was a great neighborhood, so never expected. And fortunately, it had all been remedied by the bank, so they had to come in and like rip out drywall and all kinds of stuff because of all the moisture from growing these wonderful marijuana plants. So just some extra inspections that we needed on our end.
More negotiation leverage, right?
That's right. Luckily, it had all been already done, that we didn't have to work on getting quotes or estimates or anything like that. So
and it's worth 10 times more the amount from banks
right?
than today.
Yeah, so there was a reason it was foreclosed. So why don't you tell me about one of your worst inspection experiences, or I guess your best inspection finds?
Yeah.
What would you say?
So they're all different. They're all unique. They're all interesting for sure. So, but one that resonates with me that comes to mind was it's actually on a new construction home. We've got a lot of that in the valley, as you guys know. But it was a couple years back. It was a good builder, good quality builder, still around. And we had an inspection right before the buyers were going to get keys, and there was no insulation in the attic. Nothing. It was board. It was your ceiling, and then the attic roof line. Nothing.
It wasn't like blown in on the top, or like
nothing. Just bare.
Okay.
So luckily that we caught it. The builder was very, very apologetic.
How did it pass like code inspections?
Someone just dropped the ball on it. And yeah, luckily they got it done. But had my clients not opted to get that done, I don't know that they would have known.
Right, because we don't use attics here to store things. They're really just there.
For all the plumbing and air handler and all the stuff up there.
Yeah, we're not like storing Christmas decorations or things like that, so people aren't
It would melt.
Right, especially with no insulation, it would definitely melt. But people aren't often going up in the attic, so they likely never would have caught it until they realized that their electric bills were insane, absolutely insane. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when you buy a house, a resale home, typically you would have a general home inspection.
Yeah, so I always encourage you to call around, look up reviews, all that good stuff. But we've got contacts, of course. But yeah, kind of vet your general home inspector. And high level, they're there to give you a general overview of the house. They're going to look at the inside, the outside. They're going to look at the roof line. They'll look at the AC. They'll look at the plumbing. They'll look at electrical. They'll go through everything with you. They'll also point out any cosmetic things that might be happening to the house. And I would always recommend that you meet them for a recap. So don't just say, yeah, show up and
send me the report.
Send me the report. Go there, learn about the house. They'll educate you on it. They'll make sure you feel comfortable about the house, and then they'll share their findings with you. So that way you can just feel better about what you're buying.
Okay, so then on top of a general home inspection, you often recommend some extra home inspections, like some specialists. What are those? Five specialists that you recommend?
So my type, I can't talk today. My type A personality kind of kicks into high gear with these home inspections. And so I like to just kind of recommend a buffet of options, and ultimately the buyer can decide what's most important to them, what's not. But at bare minimum, you want to do a general home inspection.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
For a few $100, get a termite inspection on it as well, to make sure that there's nothing going on there. Don't freak out here if there are termites in Arizona. We got the good termites. They're subterranean. They just go up from the ground. They don't fly. They don't do anything crazy like California or other wild states.
They're dirt termites.
Yeah, they're dirt termites. Yep.
Got
So they're blind. They don't know where they're going, and they just go up the exterior. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. So yeah, just get a general home inspection of termite. Some of the extras or options that you would definitely want to consider, at least research and see what you think, would be hiring an AC technician or an HVAC technician, which is going to take care of your heating and cooling.
Okay.
I say that because a general home inspector will assess the air splits and all that good stuff inside, outside, but they don't have the diagnostics, the tools that an AC tech would have. So for the extra 70, 80, 90 bucks, it's worth having an AC tech come out there. They'll hook up their diagnostics, their computers. They'll tell you what's going on with the AC. The other good news with that too is if it's got a clean bill of health, the AC, you have documentation. So when you get that home warranty for your first year in the house and
you're
you have an
legit
AC
covered.
problem, you're legit. Because
Okay.
you can say, hey, here's my document from my AC licensed technician. We're good.
Okay.
So just some things to keep in mind. The other good part about it too is if there is a problem, they're going to give you an estimate and a quote for what that looks like to repair or replace. And then that's a negotiation tool that we can leverage with the seller.
Awesome. Okay, so general home inspection, termite, AC.
Yep. Couple others, roof inspection.
Tim says
I
roof.
say roof.
I say roof.
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 You tell
roof.
me.
We got to decide on that one.
So a roof inspection.
Roof
or
inspection.
Definitely worthwhile. Get a licensed contractor that does roofing. We're gonna have fun with this one.
I can't do it.
And get them out there. They're gonna assess the tile. They're gonna go underneath the tile. And for those of you that don't know, the tile is not the actual roof. It is the underlayment of the paper that's underneath it. So
The tile protects.
Correct. It protects
The actual roof. So our roof company that we use for inspections, they will come out and take a peek at it. Do they usually fly a drone up there, Tim?
They will do a combination of both if necessary.
Okay.
They like to go up there and physically look if they can. If it's too sloped, what have you, then yes, the drone is a great technology piece.
We've had a lot of issues in the past where a general home inspector will go up on the roof and actually break roof tiles as they're going up and walking on it. So be super careful if anyone is going on your roof. We don't want to have any additional
try to
broken tiles,
avoid walking on your roof. That's another big one for sure.
Okay, so
you can get a roofer out there,
roofer,
and normally they're either free or a small fee, but they'll tell you how much life expectancy is left on that underlayment or paper. And then also they'll tell you if there's any cracks, slip, tiles, broken mortar caps, all that good stuff. And then they'll give you a estimate as to what it would cost to repair, replace, all that good stuff. So again, just buyer beware. You want to know about that.
So general, AC, roof, termite. The next one, we didn't used to do very many of these, but lately with houses getting older, we are seeing the need for more and more
sewer scopes. So I would tell you not many buyers take advantage of this because they just don't think about it, or maybe the agent just didn't give it to them as an option. But it is something worthwhile, and just knowing, hey, what's going on under my house. So with that said, you can hire a licensed plumber that does sewer scope inspections. And what they'll do is you've got those two black pipes that stick out, probably
cleanouts. They're called
is what they're called, but they're pipes in your ground in the front of the house. You probably have no idea what they're for, but that's what they do. And one goes into the house, one goes to the actual city line in the street.
Okay.
And so what that sewer scope inspector is going to do is they're going to run a really high-tech, cool camera through that, and they're going to basically go through all the plumbing underground and see, is there any blockages? Is there any leaks? Is there a tree root that they didn't pull out correctly and it's encroaching and causing problems? If you've got an older house that you're purchasing, 100% buy it. It's worth it. It's $250 to $300, and it will just give you the peace of mind of knowing, am I good or am I not?
How much do sewer line repairs? You just had one last week, right? And it had a tree root?
Yeah, so there was a tree root that the builder didn't quite get rid of 30 plus years ago. And so it had kind of wrapped itself around the sewer line.
Okay.
And it had started to kind of encroach inside of it a little bit, according to the scope.
Okay.
And so we've got contacts for sewer line companies that do a fantastic job. So if you ever need someone, give us a call. But anyway, so we had them come out, do a bid on that, and it was going to be about $4,000. So
Okay, so
for that
$300
specific area.
to try to save that, and then you're able to negotiate it with the seller because you did it during the inspection period.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, we've also had ones where they're like $20,000 or $25,000 to take care of. So for that $250, $300,
Yeah.
again, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
If the house is a little bit older, I would highly recommend it. If it's a little bit newer, still worth it. I actually had another client that was buying a house that was only 4 years old, and right in the middle of it, underground, was a tree root that the builder didn't pull out right, and so it had started causing problems right in the middle of the bottom of the house, and that was an $8,000 repair.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
just some things to keep in mind for the sewer.
Awesome. Okay, so general, termite, AC, roof, sewer. The next ones are not as common in Arizona, but why don't you tell us about radon testing?
Yeah, radon. So
What is radon?
You know, what is radon? So it's basically a gas, and so I'm not an expert by any means, but just have kind of general knowledge.
He is an expert in
And
gas,
so
everybody.
I would recommend
Just
you have
not
the
that
option
kind.
if you want. Radon is actually the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States, which I had no idea until I started looking into it.
Okay.
I think everyone knows what the number one leading cause of lung cancer is.
Yep.
But anyway, we'll that's another story. But radon. So typically what will happen there is a general home inspector will offer this as a service. It's typically right around $250 to $300. And what they'll do is they'll bring out this really cool machine to the house, and they'll hook it up, and they'll let it sit there and run its diagnostics for 48 hours. So
Okay.
they'll drop it, they'll come back and pick it up 48 hours later, and they'll get all their testing, and they'll share that result with the agent and the buyers and let you know what the baseline is, where it's at. Is it high? Is it moderate? Is it low?
Okay, and here in Arizona, we are typically finding positive radon tests in homes with basements, correct?
Yeah, so if you're buying a basement house, 100%, I would tell you all day long, it's worth the $250 to $300.
Okay.
If you've got health challenges, or you just want to make sure that you know that the property is good and clean and nothing to worry about, then definitely do it for your peace of mind.
Because it's not like carbon monoxide or something where you can smell it. It's like you just don't know.
You don't know. So, but they do also offer, and you can buy these. So if it is something they're like, oh, I didn't do that, but it'd be nice to know if I have it, you can have an inspector go out there and run a test for you.
Okay.
Or what you can do is you can go to like a hardware store or Amazon, and you can buy a radon detector.
Oh,
kind
cool.
of like a carbon monoxide detector.
Awesome. Okay, so
But for
anybody
radon.
with a basement for sure should do that.
100%.
100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just for peace of mind.
Okay. And then the last one that Tim's going to mention today is mold inspections. This one's becoming a little bit more common here in all types of houses because a lot of times you might not know about a leak that happened. It might be inside the wall. It might have been a roof leak. Tell us about mold inspections.
Yeah, so again, not an expert by any means, but just general knowledge. But there's some great contacts that we have that are great with mold and remediation and taking care of the problem. I think mold gets a really bad rap.
'Cause it
Everyone
is bad?
freaks out.
Yeah.
Well, in most states, yes, but here it's very, very dry.
Okay.
And so for mold to continue, and again, I'm not an expert, so I could be a little off on my kind of thoughts here, but it has to have constant water for it to continue to spread.
Okay.
And so if it's dry, if it stops, the likelihood of it spreading, in my understanding, is that we're okay. But you want to definitely get it remediated. You definitely want to make sure it's cleaned up. So they do offer mold testing. So again, if the house is older, if you just want the peace of mind of knowing, hey, is there any potential mold issues in this property? You can have the home inspection company or a mold company come out and do a test. And so they'll do a baseline test on the outside of the house.
Okay.
And then they'll do a couple sample tests inside the house
Do
in
they
different spots.
like air tests or like
Yeah,
actual
they're air
like
tests, and
air
then what
tests?
they'll
Okay.
do is they'll ship that overnight, typically to a lab,
Okay.
and then they will diagnose those tests and send it back, and we'll get the results. And
Okay.
it'll either say, "Hey, you're good," "Hey, you got a moderate issue," or "You got a high level
Okay.
issue."
Okay, so I mean that was kind of overwhelming today, but a crucial part of buying a home. Don't ever buy a house without doing at least a general home inspection because it is 100%, like Tim said at the beginning, a buyer beware. You kind of want to know what's going on at the house. Home inspectors here in Arizona are all licensed. And we want to make sure that you are hiring licensed inspectors to do everything. And if you're purchasing in the Phoenix area, we would love to help and give you a fantastic list of licensed inspectors across the board that will be able to help you.
So ballpark, I'd tell you budget $500 on the low side
Okay.
for inspections. On the high side, if you just say, hey Tim, give me the buffet of options, you're probably going to be about $1,500 to $1,800. But at the end of the day, I mean, what's the median home price in Arizona right now? Phoenix is it's $465,000. So for $465,000 investment to make sure that you got $1,800 covered is worth it, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
And like Stacia said out of the gates, every state is different, but here you typically get a 10-day due diligence period or inspection period where we can do anything and everything and just verify that the house feels good to you and you're comfortable with it. And if you're not, we can pull the plug on it. If you are, we're good to go. We'll keep moving forward. So, and you'll get your keys. So
Yay. Awesome. Cool. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you're looking for a home in the Phoenix area, give us a call. Anywhere else in the US, give us a call too. We've got amazing referral partners.
All right. Take care.